The Battle of Kellogg's Grove is either of two minor battles, or skirmishes, fought during the Black Hawk War in U.S. state of Illinois, in present-day Stevenson County at and near Kellogg's Grove. In the first skirmish, also known as the Battle of Burr Oak Grove, on June 16, 1832, Illinois militia forces fought against a band of at least 80 of Native Americans. During the battle, 3 militiamen under the command of Adam W. Snyder were killed in action. The second battle occurred 9 days later when a larger Saucon Fox band, under the command of Black Hawk, attacked Major John DeMent's detachment and killed 5 militiamen. The second battle is known for playing a role in Abraham Lincoln's short career in the Illinois militia. He was a part of a relief company sent to the Grove on June 26 and he helped bury the dead. He made a statement about the incident years later which was recollected in Carl Sandburg's writing, among others. Sources conflict about who actually won the battle. It has been called a rout for both sides. The battle was the last on Illinois soil during the Black Hawk War. Background: as a consequence of an 1804 treaty between the governor of Indiana Territory and a group of Saucon Fox leaders regarding land settlement, the Saucon Fox tribes vacated their lands in Illinois and moved west of the Mississippi in 1828. However, Sauk, Black Hawk and others disputed the treaty, claiming that the full tribal councils had not been consulted, nor did those representing the tribes have authorization to cede lands. Angered by the loss of his birthplace, from 1830 Black Hawk led a number of incursions across the Mississippi River, but was persuaded to return west each time without bloodshed. In April 1832, encouraged by promises of alliance with other tribes and the British, he again moved his so-called British band, of around 1,000 warriors and non-combatants into Illinois. Finding no allies, he attempted to return to Iowa, but events overtook him and led to the Battle of Stillman's Run. A number of other engagements and massacres followed, and the militias of Michigan Territory and Illinois were mobilized to hunt down Black Hawk's band. Prelude: in the days preceding the Second Battle of Kellogg's Grove, a raid occurred on Bureau Creek, between the Rock and Illinois rivers. Major John DeMent's battalion was ordered to the scene to protect settlers and ascertain the presence of Native Americans in the area. They were to report to Colonel Zachary Taylor at Dixon's Ferry. On June 22, DeMent reached Dixon's Ferry where he reported to Taylor. Taylor then ordered him to cross the Rock River to take a position between Dixon's Ferry and Galena. Additionally, Taylor ordered DeMent to set up his headquarters at Kellogg's Grove, with a command of 140 inexperienced men. DeMent set out for the Grove to replace a group of volunteers led by a Major Riley who had abandoned the fort on June 23. The troops that abandoned the fort had skirmished with the Native Americans 2 or 3 times and were defeated in all clashes. According to the soldiers stationed there, Major DeMent's group crossed the Rock River on June 24 and reached the small fort at Kellogg's Grove where they camped for the night. The day before the Second Battle of Kellogg's Grove, June 24, Black Hawk was leading his band in an attack on Apple River Fort. During the Battle of Apple River Fort, the Sauk besieged the small stockade for much of the day. Other warriors were dispatched to gather food, horses and other supplies, all of which were badly needed by the band. The following day the group would reach Kellogg's Grove where they would engage immense militia forces. Battles: First Battle of Kellogg's Grove. The First Battle of Kellogg's Grove, or the Battle of Burr Oak Grove, occurred on June 16, 1832. Men from Captain Adam Wilson Snyder's company engaged part of a group of about 80 Kickapoo warriors, resulting in 3 militia deaths and 6 Kickapoo deaths. On the night of June 15, 1832, Captain Snyder and his men were in Kellogg's Grove when Native Americans were discovered in the area. During the night a horse was stolen. The next day, June 16, Snyder and his men pursued the Native Americans to the southwest. They came upon 4 natives and killed them. During the ensuing skirmish, Private William B. McCompson was fatally wounded. The militiamen put the wounded man on a litter and began to carry him back to the Kellogg cabin. Along the way McCompson asked that the group stop to rest. The group stopped and some of the men went for water while the rest waited with McCompson. As they waited, a large group of Native Americans came upon them. A short battle followed and 2 more militia members were killed. After the short skirmish, the natives left the area and the militiamen returned to the Kellogg cabin and buried their dead the next day. Second Battle of Kellogg's Grove. The Second Battle of Kellogg's Grove occurred on June 25, 1832, after Major John Dement and his men, while camped at Kellogg's Grove on Sunday, June 24, learned of a large group of Native Americans nearby. The battle pitted a large band of Native American warriors led by Black Hawk and his war-chiefs Neopopper and Wesheet against Dement's spy company of militiamen. Dement's company had been searching the area for bands of warriors sent out by Black Hawk, and the trail had led to Kellogg's Grove. During the night, 3 of the militia's horses wandered off. The next day, June 25, 3 men went in search of the animals while the rest stayed behind. At the cabin, 7 Native American braves appeared in the distance. The troops immediately began pursuing the natives, who fled into the woods, instead of reporting the sighting to Dement. The Native American warriors, as had been done other times during the course of the war, set an ambush for the militiamen in the forest. The militia pursued the natives into the woods and, as they entered the forest, the natives opened fire. The volley instantly killed 2 militiamen and wounded another. The militia retreated and formed a battle line, but the native forces would not relent. The rest of Dement's company attempted to rescue the outmatched militiamen but were unable to beat back the native warriors. Black Hawk's band attacked the militiamen, again forcing the beleaguered force to fall back to the Kellogg cabin and barn. As the militia fell back, the 3 men who had set out in search of their horses returned and they too were killed by the Native American forces. The natives continued to assault the barn and cabin. Their attacks did not cease, and during the battle about 25 horses were killed. Finally, the native forces withdrew, leaving 9 of their own dead behind. The June 25 battle was the last of the Black Hawk War on Illinois soil. Dement's company lost 5 men with another 3 were wounded. Many horses were killed as well. That night American reinforcements arrived under the command of General Alexander Posey, who chose not to pursue the attackers and instead reported the situation to Colonel Zachary Taylor. Black Hawk asserted later that had Posey chose to attack him and his warriors, that the blow dealt Black Hawk's band would have been decisive in war ending. In fact, Dement's opinion was that there were more Native Americans at Kellogg's Grove than at any other engagement during the war. The next day more reinforcements arrived when Captain Jacob Early's detachment reached the grove. Lincoln's role. Abraham Lincoln's service during the Black Hawk War has been a source of discrepancies and questioning, with 2 major battle sites being affiliated with Lincoln in the aftermath of combat. A number of sources assert that on June 26, 1832, the morning after the second battle, members of the company of Captain Jacob M. Early arrived at Kellogg's Grove to help bury the dead. One of the soldiers in the company was Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln assisted with the burial and later made a statement about the experience that has been connected with both the battle at Kellogg's Grove and the fight at Stillman's Run. The Lincoln quote appeared both in William H. Herndon and Jesse W. Wyatt's Life of Lincoln and Carl Sandburg's Lincoln biography, Abraham Lincoln: The Prairie Years. Lincoln's presence at Stillman's Run was still under investigation as of 2003. Update. but his presence at Kellogg's Grove has been corroborated by several sources. Lincoln made a humorous remark during an 1848 speech before the U.S. Congress in which he referenced his Black Hawk War service, mentioning Stillman's run by name.